Welcome. We bring you Japan's latest news every day. AI sums up what matters, so you can stay informed in English in just a few minutes. If you find it helpful, please like and subscribe. Imperial Household Law Revision Bill enters deliberation in Upper House. Committee vote postponed to tomorrow. A revision to the Imperial Household Law aimed at securing the number of Imperial family members entered deliberation in the House of Councillors on the 15th. The revision comes in response to concerns about the declining number of Imperial family members due to the current system in which Imperial women lose their Imperial status upon marriage. The House of Councillors had planned to hold a committee vote on the 16th, but the vote has been postponed following calls from opposition parties for more thorough deliberation. The heads of the Liberal Democratic Party and the Constitutional Democratic Party's Diet Strategy Committees in the Upper House are scheduled to meet to discuss the future deliberation schedule. Evacuation order lifted in Nagato, Yamaguchi. The city of Nagato in Yamaguchi Prefecture has lifted its evacuation order at 1:15 p.m. on the 15th, following the cancellation of a Level 4 storm surge warning. The evacuation order affected approximately 1,744 households and roughly 3,246 residents in coastal areas of the city. The municipality had maintained high alert status against storm surge for several days, but with improving weather conditions, authorities determined the danger had passed. Residents are now able to return home in stages after confirming safety conditions. The city continues to urge residents to check weather information and maintain disaster preparedness awareness. Household average income up 7.3%, yet 55.4% say life is difficult. The Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare has released results from its household income survey. The average household income 2 years ago increased 7.3% year-over-year, showing signs of improvement. However, 55.4% of households reported that their current living situation is difficult, revealing a gap between rising income figures and actual improvements in people's quality of life. Experts point out that rising prices and increased energy costs are straining household budgets, and economic burdens not reflected in the statistics are affecting people's livelihoods. The disconnect between statistical indicators and people's actual sense of their economic situation appears to be an important issue to address in formulating future economic policy. Live. Winners of the 175th Akutagawa and Naoki prizes to be announced. The selection committee meeting for the 175th Akutagawa and Naoki prizes, Japan's most prestigious literary awards, will be held in Tokyo this afternoon starting at 4 p.m. The Akutagawa Prize recognizes outstanding short fiction by new writers, while the Naoki Prize honors popular novels. Both are considered the most authoritative awards in Japan's literary world. Following the selection committee's rigorous deliberation, the winning works will be announced as soon as the decisions are finalized. The announcement of the winning works is a highly anticipated annual event among literature enthusiasts and is expected to have a significant impact on the future activities of the award-winning authors. We look forward to today's announcement. JAXA to conduct combustion test of small-scale Epsilon S rocket on the 23rd this month. The Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, announced that it will conduct a combustion test of the small-scale rocket, Epsilon S, which has faced development challenges, at the Tanegashima Space Center in Kagoshima Prefecture on the 23rd of this month. This test is a critical step to verify that the rocket's engine functions properly. The Epsilon S is a compact version of the conventional Epsilon rocket, and is expected to reduce the cost of launching artificial satellites. While the development project is behind its original schedule, JAXA is targeting a launch within this fiscal year, and this combustion test represents a major step forward toward that goal. Depending on the results of the test, the project will move on to the next phase. SoftBank Group CEO Sun. Society's landscape will change with AI agent proliferation. SoftBank Group CEO Masayoshi Son outlined his vision for artificial intelligence toward 2040 during a lecture on the 14th. Son stated that widespread adoption of AI agents that autonomously perform tasks will bring about significant changes in society's landscape. Full-scale operation of AI agents will require massive power supply and infrastructure development such as data centers, so the company plans to significantly strengthen its investment in these areas. Preparing next-generation social infrastructure in response to rapid AI technological development is expected to become a key pillar of the company's future business strategy. Democratic Party for the People leader Tamaki opposes FuCapital bill. Regarding related bills for FuCapital concept, Yuichiro Tamaki, leader of the Democratic Party for the People, has announced his party's opposition to the measure. Tamaki had participated in revision discussions between the Liberal Democratic Party and Japan Innovation Party, but says his party's proposed content was not sufficiently incorporated. Specifically, the party's concerns regarding issues such as impacts on regional economies and fiscal measures were not reflected in the bill. At a press conference, Tamaki expressed the view that in its current form, the bill does not serve the interests of the people, and stated he will vote against it when the bill comes to a vote in the plenary session. Revised Part-Time and Correspondence Education Promotion Act enacted to ensure educational quality. The revised Part-Time and Correspondence Education Promotion Act, aimed at ensuring educational quality at part-time and correspondence high schools, was passed with majority support at the House of Councilors plenary session on the 15th. This legislation supports part-time and correspondence education, which serves as an important learning option for many students, including those balancing work and studies and those unable to attend full-time schools due to various circumstances. The revision will improve the educational environment through better teacher allocation standards and enhanced facilities and equipment. Additionally, the law includes provisions for promoting remote education and strengthening career support, with the expectation that high-quality education tailored to each student's individual needs will be provided. Going forward, the implementation of policies based on this revised law is expected to further enhance part-time and correspondence education and establish an environment where all students can learn with confidence. Ruling Coalition Committee endorses Katsuragawa route for Hokuriku Shinkansen extension. A ruling coalition committee has finalized a report on the route for extending the Hokuriku Shinkansen to Shin Osaka. The committee has determined that the preferred route would pass near Katsuragawa Station on the west side of Kyoto Station, departing from Obama City in Fukui Prefecture. This route is being evaluated as advantageous because it avoids Kyoto's central district, which would streamline land acquisition procedures and shorten the construction period. However, construction costs are expected to exceed initial projections due to rising prices. The ruling coalition plans to move forward with detailed discussions on the project operator and financing plans, using this route as the basis for further deliberation. This significant project linking the Hokuriku and Kansai regions is drawing considerable attention moving forward. Stock prices rise as semiconductor-related stocks gain on expanded demand outlook. The Tokyo Stock Exchange showed strong performance on the 15th. With the rapid proliferation of AI technology, investors are increasingly bullish on further expansion of semiconductor demand, leading to widespread buying orders centered on semiconductor-related stocks. As a result, the Nikkei 225 average gained over 1,000 yen, driving an overall market rally. The semiconductor industry's growth prospects have sparked investor appetite for purchases. Attention is now focused on related information including future demand trends and corporate earnings announcements. National average unleaded gasoline price holds at 169 yen and 90 sen per liter as government subsidies stabilize prices. According to a survey by the Petroleum Information Center, the national average retail price of unleaded gasoline as of July 13 was 169 yen and 90 sen per liter, unchanged from the previous week. Government subsidy measures aimed at easing price volatility have kept gasoline prices stable at around the 170 yen level. Despite fluctuations in international crude oil prices, the government's support measures are helping to reduce the burden on drivers. Close attention will need to be paid to future price trends. 32 dead in Bangkok restaurant fire as Thai authorities launch emergency inspections nationwide. A massive fire at a restaurant in Bangkok, Thailand's capital, on the 12th of this month has claimed 32 lives. In response to the fire, Thai authorities have begun emergency inspections of entertainment facilities and other establishments throughout the country. The inspections will verify whether proper safety measures, including evacuation routes and fire suppression equipment, are in place. The fire occurred at night, and it is believed that some patrons were unable to escape in time. The incident has raised concerns about potential problems with the building's safety management systems, prompting authorities to accelerate nationwide safety checks to ensure similar hazards do not exist at other facilities. World Cup Soccer. London pub owner and patrons hopeful for England victory. On the 14th, ahead of the semi-final match in the North American World Cup tournament, a historic pub in central London was filled with excitement. With England preparing to face Argentina, both the pub owner and customers are building expectations for a victory. The pub is packed with fans, reflecting the high level of interest in the match. This semi-final represents English soccer's tradition and pride on the line. In London's pubs, people are waiting for kickoff, believing in their country's victory. New Alzheimer's drug shows promising results in mid-stage clinical trials, U.S. pharmaceutical company reports. There is encouraging news in the treatment of Alzheimer's disease. A U.S. pharmaceutical company has announced that its newly developed therapeutic drug has demonstrated effectiveness in slowing disease progression during mid-stage clinical trials. The drug represents a novel approach, targeting the removal of proteins that accumulate in the brain, and has generated significant worldwide interest. The company plans to move forward with final-stage clinical trials, bringing practical application of the treatment closer to reality. Alzheimer's disease is a serious condition with rapidly growing patient numbers globally, and the development of effective treatments has become increasingly urgent. There are high hopes for this new drug to become a viable therapeutic option. President Trump withdraws Strait of Hormuz collection plan, threatens airstrikes. President Donald Trump of the United States withdrew on the 14th his threat to impose a 20% fee on all cargo shipments passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Instead, he said he would replace it with a massive trade and investment agreement with Gulf states. Trump further threatened on U.S. Fox News that if Iran does not return to negotiations, the U.S. will conduct airstrikes on Iranian bridges and power plants as early as next week. Meanwhile, the U.S. military has resumed a maritime blockade of Iranian ports. In a post to his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump wrote, "I have decided to replace the 20% reimbursement fee to America with trade and investment agreements between America and multiple Gulf states. The investment will be massive. At the same time, it will be highly beneficial for them in their future," Trump also wrote. He did not provide further details. Trump further stated that the Strait of Hormuz is open to navigation for all vessels except Iran, and claimed that, thanks to the tremendous power of the American military, oil is flowing like never before. Trump later told reporters during a meeting with Iraq's new Prime Minister Ali al-Zaidi at the White House, "I don't like the idea of collection fees, but at the same time, it's not fair that we are protecting this strait for the entire world." Trump said he changed his initial fee plan after receiving numerous phone calls from leaders of Gulf states. Trump withdraws 20% Strait of Hormuz toll proposal, struggles to end Iran conflict. President Donald Trump's demand regarding the war with Iran was withdrawn within just 24 hours on the 13th, suggesting the president is searching for unconventional methods to escape a difficult situation. On the morning of the 13th, Trump announced he would resume a naval blockade of Iranian ports and wrote, "America will henceforth be known as the guardian of the Strait of Hormuz, but to be fair, we will receive compensation at a rate of 20% on all transported cargo to cover all costs necessary to carry out our mission of providing safety and security to this extremely volatile region." However, by the 14th, the president completely withdrew that proposal and instead wrote that America would forge a trade and investment agreement with U.S. Gulf allies. This suggested that America would guarantee safe passage through the strait for agreement partners. This sudden policy shift is the latest development in a conflict that has lasted more than 4 months. The Iran war shows no signs of ending, despite a memorandum from a month ago that secured a temporary ceasefire and established a framework for negotiations. The Iran war remains unpopular within the United States. Rising energy prices are anticipated, and there is a risk that American military forces and allies will face Iranian attacks again. For this reason, Trump may not seek to escalate the war. However, without reaching an agreement that Trump can claim delivers better results than the nuclear deal his predecessor Barack Obama's administration concluded with Iran in 2015, the president would likely prefer not to end the conflict.